Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, guys, to the broadcast. For those of you who are coming through for the first time, you're more than welcome. For those of you who keep coming, keep doing what you're doing. I love it. Guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this content. You can put on your notification bell so that you're notified each time I post a new video. So, guys, I've got a single that's out. It's called Hold You. You can check it out on all digital stores. It's Kejavu Hold You. Kejavu is Kejavu. You can also follow me on Instagram at Kejavu_live. So, guys, I just want to recap a couple of things. Two things that have really stayed with me in the last two episodes of Podcast and Chill. Number one, I just want to comment a little bit about the issue of Aya being fired. And I want to comment also on the episode after that where MacG has signed a deal with Via, the footwear. So I found this quite interesting, there's two things. But let's start with my observation. The episode that I'm talking about is the episode where MacG hosted the gentleman who was a gang leader of the 27 in jail and how he grew up. But for me, the one thing that stayed with me, there are two sides of MacG, right? There's a one that he's in the studio and he's making jokes, and sometimes he's offensive. But I think for the first time, I'm one of those people that are following somebody religiously because something about the podcast show has sort of just spoken to things that I kind of like. MacG can be controversial. I'm not a mind reader, and I don't know what's in his heart. He has offended people. He has been offensive, and also I have questioned him. And guys, when we follow people, we have to be careful not to follow people blindly, right? Because we always complain about people who've got loyal followers, like people like Bonang, Mihlali, Peltusi, people like that. Casper Nyovest, aka people like that have fans that don't budge. You almost feel like these people, it doesn't matter what these people do, in their eyes they'll always be correct. They never question anything that they do, and you don't want to be one of those people, because remember, we follow these people because they're positive inspiration, and we have to have the eyes to call them into order when we disagree with them. And I think so far the people that follow MacG do call him to order. There has been times where he's gone and repented. Like, for instance, the last time that people felt like he was being rude to Saul and Ghost Lady, where he was just bored with the things that we're saying. And he does, come out after that episode and shares that people were really calling him out. He was getting emails, and then he did repent, even though some other people don't feel like he was sincere. But there is an effort, and what I like, there is an acknowledgement of he's the way he is because of Chillers. Let me tell you why I like that episode where MacG was talking about the deal with Via. Number one, the deal that he has is he's partnering with a black guy. Guys, if you look at all the big names, if you look at all the business people, it's always people that have somehow managed to partner with a white person. Even though we follow Casper, even though we follow Zinhle, even though we follow AKA, a lot of the times the endorsements that they have are owned by white people. If you were to find out, a lot of the times, not always, a lot of the times, these guys are faces, they're not owners. And MacG, what he has done, he has put pressure on even those people. Now people like Casper are under pressure to own their stuff, because it was a norm that we as black people are being used by white companies because they want social capital. They want access to the black man. Guys, if you check anything, the SAMP, the Millimil, these are all things that we were doing ourselves. I don't want to say manufacturing. People were planting all those things, grain, Millimil, and we had means and ways that we were using to convert these things, to make flour, to make Millimil, to make SAMP. And what the white people came and did, they made us depend. We used to have our own plantations and all sorts of things. We were eating from our own gardens. Now we're so dependent. We cannot bake bread. We cannot plant anything. We are so dependent on the white person. And all the power now has gone to them. They've taken the things that when they came to Africa, we were doing, they've packaged them and they've put them on their stores. Now we're buying from them, we're dependent on them. And that is the whole thing that's happening in South Africa. The clothes we wear, we are always supporting the white man, you know. The black people are just faces to control the other black people, but they're not the ones who are beneficiaries. Hence, we are so easy to replace. And something is fundamentally wrong with that structure. And this is why MacG is so appealing, because when it comes to MacG, when you go to MacG, first of all, you know you're going to a black man's platform who's totally in control. And then when you go behind him, you still meet MacG. You don't meet a white person. He owns his own grandeur. He owns his own platform on YouTube. He is completely in charge. And it's a white man who hunts him down. Those who decide to, a lot of sometimes, they partner with him because they're benefiting. And whether they come or go, MacG will always be there because he's got chillers. This is a story. This is a story of hope for a black man. And MacG is the first, if I'm correct, he's the first to do it the way he does on these public platforms, as a public celebrity who's up moving in the entertainment space. And this is why we are so in love with his story. This is why we follow him, right? Because it gives us, all of us, hope. It gives us something to aspire for. Because when you've come to realize how things work, we are all just pawns making the white men rich. And they fire us at will and whatever. And let me come to the Aya story. Now, when it's black on black, you know, people tend to take things for granted, right? Especially with the attitude that MacG is nice and is free with everybody. And I mean, guys, it's not rocket science. People are saying that he's jealous, he doesn't want people to succeed. It doesn't matter what you think. What we know is the principle. The guy didn't show up for work. The guy was given warnings and all sorts of things. And I'll tell you one thing, right? There's been so many things that have been happening with Aya. Even how he started speaking on the podcast. That was not his job. And you clearly, I mean, when you start investigating that, the guy had ulterior motives. Is there anything wrong with that? Not necessarily. And the guys gave him that platform. There are videos where they make fun of how he started speaking on the mic when that was not the intention.
Like even the cops, they do know as well.
Wait, and then, are you doing sound or you're part of the show? What's going on?
You're a co-host.
You're a co-host. You must declare.
Which ghost is this one?
Hey, you're not thinking, oh, hey, who asked you for this one's opinion? But let's hear him out. He says he's withdrawn.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's going to withdraw from the conversation afterwards. He says he's reversed. I mean, he's reversed an e-wallet. Why would you reverse
What did you do, Aya?
an e-wallet?
No, I was speeding, and these people follow you when you're driving a different car, right? So if I'm driving a Corsa, they won't really follow you. But if you're driving a BMW, they follow you just to check out what's happening with you, and then they ask for money. So I do it and reverse it as soon as I leave.
Chief, rule number 1 on the podcast: speak when you're spoken to. Can we just?
Where did you get a mic? I'm checking my mic now. I still have a mic. Does she have a mic? Hey,
Mike?
Hey.
He is the sound guy after all. Petty sound, guys. He is the sound.
It's not the first time. Remember last week?
But I think you asked them last week. I think you had asked them for his opinion.
But the mic was ready.
Technical thing, but the mic was there. He was like waiting to grab it. Like, yeah, let's go.
You don't want me sounding like this.
There was also a time, this is very interesting, I was thinking about them, then I saw it again on social media. People were posting these things because people are recalling these episodes where there was that woman who reads people. I'm not sure, I don't know much about that thing where you read people and you talk to their ancestors. Really, I cannot endorse or not discredit what they do, because I really don't know anything about those things. I don't like to comment on things that I don't really understand. But that woman did say that there's energy of a person that is trying to move in and they made fun of it, and they said it's Aya. MacG at first said Robot Boy, and then he said Aya.
The show is manifesting into something much larger than the both of you anticipated. Do not bring. There is a male that wants to be part of the show, that wants to get on board. I'm seeing that as a negative.
Yeah.
Robert Boy,
Ah, come on, never, not him. He's good people.
You've been saying
good
Robert
energy.
Boy.
Listen,
Good
the energy might be good in the with the person, but when I'm looking at the three of you together,
the chemistry,
the chemistry and the way you gel together. Right now, it's working perfectly with you guys. You got Ghost Lady leading you guys. It's working. Don't break something that is perfect.
Wow.
No, it's Aya.
He's the
He's
other
always with the
image.
mic entering. They're like, yeah, I know, so I think Saul,
There there's an energy that's unfolding
I'm just
of a
kidding,
third
man.
male anchor. That is going to be the problem. So keep the platform the way it is.
Wow. Are we going to make money?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what matters.
The guy wanted to be famous, and they even mentioned that at another episode that I has been wanting to be famous. And I think people like that, they come to you and they want to write. And MacG has to be so. I'm sure, man. Like, there's so many things that he has to be careful of now. He can't move the way that he used to. He's not free as he used to, because he doesn't know who's coming to him for what, And instead of criticizing the guy, let's pray for him, because he's a good example of what can happen when black people gain power. Because a lot of the times when people black people gain power, they fight two demons. They fight the fellow black man who doesn't respect him as a boss, who doesn't wish him well. More than that, they get corrupted by the power that they gain, right? I mean, we've seen with our government, we've seen the things, I mean, everything is just turning upside down. And we have to prove that a black man can be competent. We have to prove that we can do things our own. And MacG is a good example of that. And let's not take for granted the role that is on his shoulders, because he's teaching young people, he's teaching all the black people how to handle black excellence. We need black excellence, guys. And people like MacG, we cannot afford to push them down. But what we need to do is hold him accountable so that he stays there, because he's leading a new revolution. And trust me, the enemies of black progress, which is a lot of comfortable Europeans, some of them may not like that. To some, he may be a threat. He needs to be protected. He needs to be held accountable. He needs to be encouraged, not broken down when he's trying to hold people to account, people that he's employed. They can't take things for granted, because it's serious. It's serious that what is happening there. It's representing a lot of us as the black community. Also, before you say he's jealous, look at what he's done for Saul Penduka. You can say, no, he's benefiting from that because Saul has had so much contribution on Podcast and Chill. Fair enough, they're both benefiting, but he changed Saul's life. And more than that, you must check on that very episode where they're signing that contract with Via. It's not just MacG who's signing that contract, it's Saul. Meaning that Saul is also an ambassador. He's got his different contract. He's got his own different benefits. And not only that, MacG follows up and says, now, Saul, you can retire from Kaya FM. What does that mean? It's a way where you can read in between the lines and say, okay, he's getting money from being also the face. So MacG did not only take the endorsement for himself, he also put Saul on. Because Saul is also signing a contract, meaning Saul is also going to benefit for being the face. He's going to get money. And MacG understands that is black excellence. Now black people are starting to treat each other like that, putting each other on. And for the first time, Saul is getting endorsements and being the face of the black faces to Podcast and Chill and Via. And that is revolutionary. It's new and it's fresh, and we need to start operating like that for those of us who aspire to be like that, and also for the young ones that are coming after us to learn these things, and then we make it normal, so that should be how we start moving, where black people start putting each other on. And that is MacG's cry. He even said it on an episode. So before you say that, let's have a well-rounded point of view.